Hey there, crafty friends. It's Tina from the Scrappin Rabbit blog. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be creating a couple cards using the new Not Too Shabby stamps from the June box release. This was mermaid themed, and I have the stamps. The stamps are called Be Mermazing in this set. I love these images. And the second set here is called Hugs and Fishes. I do have links as well as a discount code in the description box below if you're interested in checking out the shop. But we're going to go ahead and create a couple cards, so let's get started. To save some time, I already die cut out some stitched rectangles using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is my favorite cardstock for when I'm doing some inking. I am also using the Newton's Nook Designs Wave Stencil, and I have it on my tonic board here, which is new to me, which I absolutely love for stenciling now. It's so easy to do. You just lay your cardstock, put your magnets down, and then it holds everything in place so you can do your inking. I'm going to grab some Distress Oxide inks, starting out in Salty Ocean and Faded Jeans. I'm also going to tape off the bottom part of my stencil because I don't want to ink below that line. And so using a little bit of washi tape is going to help keep me from inking the bottom of that card layer. Starting out with the Faded Jeans, I'm just using my sponge dauber, my little sponge inker, or it's called the blending tool. I always get that name mixed up. So I'm just kind of blending dark to light, moving from the bottom up, going from the darkest to the lightest. I pulled out the peacock feathers. I love that beautiful rich color that I get, and I'm just going back very gently, rubbing it in with the blending tool into those small openings that make the waves. And I find that the inks do blend nicely. I've been trying to use my Distress Oxides more lately. I do prefer the little mini inks, and I don't know, the Distress Oxides, you definitely get a different look. The lightest color there, or the lighter colors, are the Broken China, as well as my favorite, the Salvaged Patina. That is one of my most favorite colors, so I'm so glad that there's actually a Distress ink that color now. And I'm just going in there with the tool, just kind of moving it in a circular motion, and then that is what it looks like. So to add some sparkle, I love, love, love the Nouveau Glimmer Paste in Moonstone, and I'm just going to spread it with this very skinny spatula, just like I'm spreading on frosting, and it just looks so beautiful. I love that this clear iridescent type of sparkle does not cover up the color underneath, but it just adds that extra something to your card. And so when I just spread it through across the stencil, and then now for the reveal. Isn't that just beautiful? I love, love, love the way that that looks. So after I cleaned everything up, I'm going to go ahead and work on my second card while I have all of my Distress Oxide inks out. And for a different look, I'm using blending straight onto the cardstock with the same colors. And I'm just doing the blend on half of that layer. The same colors, blending dark to lightest from the bottom up towards the top. And I'm just in circular motions, just blending on that ink. So I do prefer the Distress inks over the oxides, but I've been playing with the oxides a little bit more, and I am really enjoying that as well. To add some splatter, I just like to grab this box that I keep on hand, and I'm going to add some water to that, as well as this glimmer mist. And I love the way that that looks because it adds even some shimmery bubbles into the ocean. So to stamp on my first layer, now that the glimmer paste is dry, I'm just going to grab that Hugs and Fishes sentiment, and I'm going to use some VersaFine black ink and ink that up, prepping my layer there with the anti-static powder tool. Once I have it stamped, I'm going to use some clear embossing powder and then heat up my heat to really nice and hot and get that melted. And I just love the way that the embossing looks. Now for my second card, now that that is all dry, I'm going to make this a birthday card. So I'm using the Happy Birthday stamp from the Not Too Shabby Sprinkled with Love stamp set, and using the same VersaFine black ink, I'm going to go ahead and ink that up, use the clear embossing powder, and it's going to add that nice texture to my card. And I just love the way that an embossed sentiment looks. I decided I wanted to use that stencil and add some of that glimmer paste to this card as well. So I'm just going to start from the right side of the card and spread it towards the center, just going halfway, just only to where I inked up on that card layer. So once I have all of that spread across, it's going to add that special touch to my card, that extra sparkle, and you guys know how much I love sparkle. So I'm going to let that dry and then work on that first card. The two images here are the mermaid and this, I believe it's a betta fish. I had already stamped, embossed, and colored them with Copic markers, and I had them all ready to put on a card. I'm going to use some of this ink that I've had in my stash for a really long time, and it has that aqua-ish color, and I'm using one of the tiny bubbles stamps just to add a few bubbles here and there. I had a little residue on the bottom of this card front, and then just covering it up with the bubbles is a great way to hide any imperfections. I want to pop these images with double-sided foam tape, but then because it's going on top of the glimmer paste, I am going to add some liquid glue, and that's going to help keep it from falling off. It'll be on there permanent now. So again, just removing that double-sided foam tape, adding the liquid glue, and popping it up on my card. To adhere this layer to my A2 size card base, I'm also going to use the liquid glue. This has been my favorite glue lately to use for all of my card making, and I'm just going to center it on to that panel. Now these little glass bubbles I've had in my stash for a really long time, and I thought they would look perfect because they didn't have sparkle, because the card is so sparkly as it is. So I thought that the glass little bubbles there added the right finishing touch for my card. I also am going to use these Nouveau glitter markers and then just add a little bit of sparkle to the images by adding those little aqua colored dots, and then also using the gold one to add the gold dots to the fish's fantail. And that completes my first card, and look at all of that fantastic sparkle. I just love how this one turned out. So now that my second card is dry, I'm ready to work on that one. It's also going to be an A2 size card featuring this narwhal stamp. So I did create a little sand trim there to add to the bottom of that layer. And I'm also going to pop up the images on the double-sided adhesive foam as well. The liquid glue again is going to help the stamped images to glue on top of that glimmer paste. And then I'm going to, of course, add it to the other stamps as well. So I combined the plants from both of the stamp sets, and there is a little seashell, and then I have that adorable narwhal. I think that one is my favorite image from both sets. That's going to go on top. So I can just glue that on to my card base, and then it'll be time to add the finishing touches. So now that I have my card practically done, I want to add some of those glass bubbles again. Using the liquid glue, I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down. And this glue works fantastic even for these little glass bubbles. I wanted to add some sparkle to the narwhal, so instead of coloring his horn, I'm adding some of that Nouveau glitter marker in silver. And then I also have the Spectrum Noir sparkle marker that I'm adding some extra sparkle to the other stamped images. And that completes my second card. I've been trying to do 2 cards when I go to make a project so that I kind of get 2 for 1. And these are the 2 that I created today for you guys using the new Not Too Shabby stamps from the June box collection. So I want to thank you again for stopping by my channel. I really hope you like my cards, and don't forget there are links as well as a discount code in the description box below. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope you all have a fantastic day and that you will check out the shop for all of the goodies that Jamie has available for all your crafting needs. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.